Former Trump campaign advisor Roger Stone pled not guilty yesterday to 7 charges brought by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Stone was charged with 1 count of obstruction to proceeding, 1 count of witness tampering, and 5 counts of making false statements to Congress. The indictment against Stone alleges he spoke to senior Trump campaign officials about WikiLeaks' future releases of information, revealing stolen Democratic Party emails during the 2016 presidential election. In tweets from October 2016 that have since been deleted, Stone wrote, "Wednesday, Hillary Clinton is done. #WikiLeaks." And libs thinking WikiLeaks publisher Julian Assange will stand down are wishful thinking. Payload coming. Just 2 days later, WikiLeaks released the first batch of emails from Clinton campaign chair John Podesta. That connection to WikiLeaks has placed this man, comedian Randy Credico, at the center of the special counsel's investigation. Both Roger Stone and Assange were guests on Credico's New York radio show leading up to the 2016 election, and Stone says Credico is the link between WikiLeaks and himself. Last September, Credico was subpoenaed by the special counsel and questioned about his connections with Stone. Joining me now is New York Magazine contributor David Freedlander. David profiled Credico in an article titled "The Stand-Up Comedian Who Could Help Put Roger Stone in Prison." David, welcome. It's great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Your piece is fantastic. So many interesting twists and turns. The relationship between these two men is fascinating. It's almost a story in and of itself. But whether or not this man is the linchpin between Stone and Assange, it is fascinating. Clearly, Stone knew something, because he tweeted 2 days before the WikiLeaks dump was going to happen. So either he found out from Assange, or through some other, intermediary. Fascinating story. So, when Credico anonymously mentioned more than 90 times in the indictment, he's mentioned more than 90 times. What, as person 2 in this indictment, what evidence does Robert Mueller have surrounding Credico?
Well, some of it, I think, is that, Credico's own conversations with Stone, tweets, texts, emails that Credico says have been taken a little bit out of context, in which they both sort of talk about each other as the one who sort of knew the inside scoop of what was going to happen, even though Assange himself is often saying what was going to happen. So it can be very hard to sort it out between the two of these guys.
And of course, Credico says, I didn't tell Stone anything. I didn't know anything. Does he claim to be good buddies with Assange?
He doesn't. He says that actually Stone sort of set him up with Assange. He was trying to get Assange on his radio show, and that so he says Stone is his back channel. Of course, Stone says Credico is his back channel. Everybody's kind of back channeling everybody else, as best we can tell.
These two guys have such an interesting history that goes back so far. If you were to wrap it up into a nutshell, because we only have a few minutes, how would you describe their relationship?
Well, they're both people that are sort of on the fringe of politics in a lot of ways, especially in New York politics. In fact, when Randy Credico's name first came up in this, I couldn't believe it was this guy who was smoking dope on the Capitol of New York State a few years ago to protest drug laws, is now the center of this ring of international intrigue. But basically, they kind of get involved in these obscure races from time to time, use each other, have a big fight, fall out, get back together again when they're useful to each other.
So interesting. Now, Jeff Pegues is our national security correspondent, interviewed Stone, and he said a few things about Credico. I want to play parts of that. Let's listen.
Why lie to the House Intelligence Committee?
But I didn't lie to the House Intelligence Committee.
Or encourage Credico.
But I didn't encourage Credico. You're trying to try me now without a trial. No, Randy Credico threatened to put a bullet in the head of one of the Mueller witnesses who was exculpatory that went to the grand jury. Randy Credico threatened to have a woman falsely accuse me of sexual assault. Randy Credico lied to the grand jury and said he wasn't my source when I have text messages that prove that he absolutely was. Why hasn't he been charged with perjury? Why hasn't he been charged with obstruction or witness intimidation? So don't make any assumptions. I haven't gone to trial yet.
Whoa, so there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there. Stone certainly accuses Credico of a lot there.
Yeah, sure.
But let's just focus on the last part where he says, that he's the real liar and the one who's lied to the special counsel. And so why then is Stone the one who has been indicted?
Well, I think it's possible they're just both liars. In fact, there are text messages where I think they say to each other, hey, you ain't exactly George Washington yourself, are you? Mueller seems to think that one of them is lying at least more than the other one, and he has made that determination, as we saw last week.
Do you think, though, Credico could face an indictment?
It's possible. I mean, he's a fringe figure, you know, in New York politics, and he seems to be a fringe figure in this, too. I mean, I think there's just a lot of people you have to get to before you get to Randy Credico.
He's certainly nervous right now, though. He comes across in your piece as just being really kind of down on his luck a little bit right now, or feeling a little nervous and worried about how this is all going to play out.
Yes.
I mean, we don't know what he knows, but he certainly is, he knows something.
Yeah, well, you never want to be entangled with the grand jury and Robert Mueller if you can help it, right?
No.
And I think he would anxious to get his life back. I mean, he's also a left-wing activist who really, you know, has gotten wrapped up in people accusing him of electing Donald Trump.
Right.
So he's ready for this to be over.
That upsets him as well.
Sure.
So after reporting this story, what further questions do you have? What would you like answered?
Well, obviously, the main question is we have to figure out what all of this is all about. Everybody is lying so much. It seems as if words don't mean anything to anybody. I'm just really one day want to find out exactly what happened.
Well, it seems as if there's got to be a paper trail somewhere, right? There were at least those texts we saw linking Stone to at least knowing the WikiLeaks dump was about to happen 2 days before it happened. So there's got to be some kind of paper trail, no?
I would think. I mean, this didn't just come out of thin air, right? I mean, somebody had to talk to somebody, and that person had to talk to somebody else. And hopefully one day we'll find all this out. But right now, it's all just a big cloud.
Maybe right now only Robert Mueller knows, or maybe he still doesn't even know. Maybe he's still looking into it. All right. David Freedlander, thank you so much. Excellent reporting.
Thank you.